Hello everyone and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are working on block number 2. This will be a beautiful day block. This is the Fat Quarter Shop's block number 2 Quilt Along for the Flowering series. And we're just going to get into it. I have all of my fabrics over here already cut, already marked, everything. I will have to refer to the back of my pattern for all my cuttings, pieces. We are going to first start out making half square triangles with our A fabric and our F fabric. I believe I only needed 2, yes, of each of these, because it will make 4. So guys, we're just going to get on into it. I completely forgot to tell you guys about this one in the updates. My updates, I pretty much only remembered what I currently already have going, but I have so many things going. I need to do a full pull out of all my projects going and just work on those, work on everything, just so I can see it. Now I do have the wall removed from behind me, so that will help me be able to see what projects I have going behind me. That's where all my project boxes are. I do have some boxes back there that will stay back there. Like my Nantucket mini charm bag, that one will stay back there because I will continue to make that one. My string quilt will stay back there because I will continue to make that one. I haven't worked on my string quilts in a while. I haven't had to. I've had so much going on with everything else. I haven't had to do it, which that's a good thing. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I just want to have a slow day and I will break out the string quilt. But here lately with me doing the bags of love, I haven't had a slow day. I'm working on those when I have any downtime. And I think that may be what I need to do this next update is pull out all the boxes so we can see what we have going on, what we need to get done. I am going to try to you know, get some of my unfinished things done quickly. So I'm not taking these off of the machine because I don't need to yet. We are going to make 4 of these next ones, so I'm not using these. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, if we're making 4, I only need 8 of these. So I have 8 of my squares, and what we are doing is just putting, it almost looks like to the top right, but the diagonal goes from top left to bottom right. But anyway, my idea right now is I am working on things that I want to complete, like my grandbaby's dresses. I will be placing some dresses in my eBay shop. Well, it's not a shop, it's just an eBay. I haven't done that yet, but of course I haven't gotten any made for that yet because I've been making my grandbabies. And I think I've mentioned before, I also do custom orders on the little dresses. So if you see one you like and I don't have the size, some of them I can do custom, some I cannot. Some I've just pulled fabric out of my stash and I'm not able to get any more. But guys, let's talk about the Fat Quarter Shop. So Simpler Quilt Along. This flowering, I still have not finished my Peaceful Baskets yet. I love the line of fabric that is used in the Peaceful Baskets, but I wasn't crazy about the Peaceful Baskets. They were a little difficult for me, and it is not a beginner skill level for that Quilt Along. Somebody may say it's a beginner. It's more of an intermediate, closer to advanced to me. It's not really any special techniques or anything, but that one got me just a little bit. Okay, I'm taking these off now because I do need to flip these and put another piece on the bottom side of this. So what I'll do is just cut these, because I'll cut these when I'm cutting the rest of these. So I'm just going to lay them over here out of the way. It doesn't look, let me just make sure, when we put these others on, I may need to go ahead and cut and press these. And if that's the case, I'll go on and cut all of them. Yes, I am going to have to cut and press, so I'll be right back. I now have my half square triangles done, so I'm laying those out of the way. And I have my rectangles done here. So what I have to do is add another square to the bottom, and it is actually going to be sewn in the same direction as the top one. So what I'm doing is just going to flip it over and treat it just like it was a top square. And guys, if y'all were getting the reflection out of my glasses, I'm so sorry. I am trying to find the best lighting position so that does not happen. I know with eyeglasses there is certain places you can put it and you don't get glare. I don't think I'm quite there yet. This is acting like it's trying to pull my fabric up under my presser foot, and it's trying to pull it down in my bobbin case there. And I know people tell me do leaders and enders, but I just don't do those. I don't like them. First off, I forget to use them, and it's just something else to be in the way while I'm sewing. Something else to have to remember. I don't remember all those things, so I just do it like this. Guys, today, welcome back to your work week after the Memorial Day holiday. I did go in on Memorial Day, which today that I'm recording is Memorial Day. I did go into the office for about 30 minutes because it's payroll Monday and I have to do payroll. But really, I didn't do payroll. I just went in to make sure there were no errors on it, that nothing needed to be corrected. There were errors, and of course, I mean, it's not always errors. It's just when they have to work overtime, sometimes there are errors because you have to code the time differently for overtime, and that didn't happen. So sometimes it just makes a mess. So what I need to do on this is cut them apart, trim them, press them, and then we are going to start, looks like assembling a block here. Well, it says assemble unit. So I will be right back with you once we start doing that. And I didn't tell you guys where my fabric is coming from, so let me do that real quick. The background is coming out of my Love Struck. It is a fat quarter that I did not use. This green in the center, that's Lori Holt Cookbook. Let's see. This is Pioneer Woman. This is Pioneer Woman. I don't know what this is. It's a blue with, I'm trying to think what that is. I can't remember. I cannot remember which one it is. But we're going to start assembling our block. I have to put things away for me to do that. First step we have to do is take one of our half square triangles and a B block, which is background, and I'm making sure I've got this turned the correct direction, and I have to make sure I have my fabric turned correct. It's easier to see when you lay it down and the light hits it, but I am going to be turning the fabric over. That way I am not starting on a thick seam that I have to try to get it over. And we will make 4 of these. I'm making sure I have that correct. And I have to remember which seam to do, so I'm not doing it the wrong direction. We definitely do not need to do that. And today, as I was in here cutting my fabric, I thought, well, actually, I was finishing my bags of love, and so I was like, well, I'll listen to a live. If somebody's live, I'll listen to somebody live. And I caught Gladys and Cathy live, which was it was nice to catch them live because I don't normally get to catch them live. I think I've caught them live before during break at work. And I think that's normally when they get to sew is when I'm working. But they were sewing a little after 5 today, so that was nice. But a lot of times when I am just sewing, trying to catch up stuff or edit a video, that's what I'll do. I will cut a live on and just listen to it as I go, which I really enjoy that. Okay, now this one where we're assembling our unit has a seam on both ends. They don't nest, but I do have to make sure it gets under there and goes. I need to make sure I'm even too, so I'm going to go ahead and just pin everything from one end to the other. And everything is sewing on that 1/4 of an inch. Okay, got that. I use my pins a lot of times to help me get that under. If you add something to create a thickness at your foot, sometimes it helps that go under better. Or that's what I have found on my machine. But what I'm doing is I'm just taking these 2 pieces like this. I'm laying them, this is exactly how the picture has them. I'm just flopping this one over I should have trimmed some of these threads off, but I didn't. I'm bad about that. I don't trim all my threads and just leave them there, and then they get caught up in everything else. So it looks like we're assembling the first unit of the block. I'm sure there's many more units to do of this block. Because it looks like this is only the first page. That's all we got done is the first page, and we're in about 30 minutes, but I tell y'all this all the time. I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. You know, if it takes me a little longer to get this done, that's okay. I just want to make sure it's done correctly. And this is the flowering sew along for Fat Quarter Shop. This is their, or Quilt Along. This is their 2025 series, Quilt Along, or Quilt Along series called Flowering. They used a line by Camille Ross Kelly. I think it was called Summertime. I wasn't crazy about the colors of that, but I'm trying to keep my fabrics not the same colors, but kind of the same scheme. So when I go putting it together, I have the same colors, just maybe not the same color scheme. Plus, I wanted to smash my stash, get through all of these, get through my fabrics and stuff. I mean, that's always a good idea if you have fabrics to use, to find. If you do a quilt along that has blocks, it's great to smash the stash on your blocks and make them scrappy. You know, even if you kind of use the same colors and stuff, it does not have to be the same thread. It don't even have to be the same color, just whatever you feel comfortable doing. My creative side told me to do it the same, you know, kind of the same color hue. So if theirs is a green, mine is a green. It may not be the same green. They could be using chartreuse green, and I could be using Kelly green. Now also, Fat Quarter Shop has their Make-A-Wish quilt. I need to print that down because I do want to make that quilt. They also have a cross stitch pattern with that quilt that I would love to do. I did one last year where I did the cross stitch but not the quilt. But I will need to print both of those down to see what the requirements are on them. Our next step on this is we are going to take our larger block, and it looks like we are going to put a C on the top left. And how many are we doing? We're doing 4. So let's just go on and get 4 of these. Because we'll put a C on the top left and an I on the bottom right, and then we'll crisscross and do another C and another I. But let's get these C's on first. So guys, this is turning out beautiful. I love these quilt alongs. It seems like these just turn out to be some of the most beautiful things. I need to finish my peaceful baskets. I'm going to be working on finishing up some things, and peaceful baskets is on my list to finish. I do have some cross stitch items also that I would like to finish. Number one, my grandbaby's Christmas stockings, but I don't think they realize these are going to be Christmas stockings at Grammy's house or Gigi or whatever. My granddaughter calls me Grammy. My grandson, I think he called me Mamaw the other day. It don't matter what they call me. I don't care. I do not care what them babies call me. That's my babies. I was just so excited I got to see my granddaughter this weekend. Oh, it just means the world to me to get to see her. And, well, I see my grandson a decent amount because they live close by. And I irritate my daughter all the time, and I get to go pick him up. Well, the day you're seeing this, I get to pick him up today because his mama is going to an orthopedic doctor today for her foot to find out what, if anything, they can do about it now. They did find out that they think it is 3 bones that are broke. They did do an MRI on her foot, and I'm sitting here going, I need an MRI on my knee so bad. It's just, it's hurting so much worse. So, if I have some people in the medical field that watch, please tell me if this is normal or not. I started PT on my knee. They're just saying, the physical therapist is saying a Baker's cyst. I don't know what it is. I'm saying it wasn't hurting like this before they started doing PT on it. Now I can barely stand and barely walk. It is that painful. It is so painful for me to stand up. And I don't feel like that's normal. I really don't. I really don't feel like that's normal. But everybody, you know, my daughter has said, oh, that's normal. And I'm like, being sore, yes, I can understand. I fully appreciate the fact that, yeah, I'm going to be sore. But not in excruciating pain. Is that normal? My daughter's like, well, you're going to use muscles that you haven't used. And I'm like, I walk every day. You know, it's not like I don't walk. It's not like I don't bend my knee. But it has gotten now to where when I lay down at night to go to bed, my knee hurts no matter what position it's in. And I mean, the therapist even told me that it's possible it's a stretched meniscus or something. And I'm like, that baby got to be torn or something for this amount of pain. But I was walking fine before I started therapy. Now I can barely get up since I started therapy. I can barely, like from a seated position, I can barely get up now on that knee. I don't put pressure on that knee when getting up now. But so y'all just tell me, is that normal? I mean, for it to go from where I could walk on it, it was just painful, to now where I can barely walk on it because it is so painful that I just about cannot stand on it. It takes me a while when I stand up. And a lot of times I'll lose my balance now when I stand up. And I wasn't doing that. But it does scare me. I'm of the belief, I feel like I know physical therapy does work for some things. But don't stretch out my pain for just to get more insurance. Because it hurts. If it needs to have surgery, let's get it done. Let's fix my knee. I'm just tired of hurting. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do now is cut them apart. And when I say cut them apart, you know, I mean my little caddy thing here. I love this little guy, y'all. Love it. Miss Dee Dee had given this to me one day. She knew I was new to quilting, and I guess she thought this poor girl needs all the help she can get, and she gave me this little thing. This has been an absolute game changer for me. I love it. So guys, I'm going to trim my blocks, press them, and I'll be right back. So now our next step is we're going to take our white square. I believe I don't have enough. Well, that's strange. So now we will be taking this and putting another white square on the top right side. And we will do it just like we did the other 4. And we'll be doing 4 of these. And it looks like we're assembling like the side units and the the first ones that I did were the corner units. And I believe this is like top and bottom and side, like the center units of each row. Or that's my thinking anyway. I haven't really looked at the pattern far enough ahead to see if that is what this is or not. But we will put all 4 of these on, and then we will do the other side with our, I can't remember what letter, I, our I fabric. Our little blue fabric. So now our next step is we will take our other blue and alternate it down on the other bottom side. I'm trying to make sure I line everything up correctly so we don't have an issue when we're done. But these, once we finish sewing all of these will press towards the outside. Well, now we have our second set of blocks done, so we are going to go on to our third set of blocks, which we will be taking our blue, and it looks like we will be taking our little square here, and I can't remember what this is called, but we are going to just sew it from top left to bottom right, and then trim and press these out. And I believe we're making 4 of those, so I am just going to continue to put these pieces on here and sew them. And guys, I just found a way to start my fabric without it getting pulled down into my bobbin. I put a pin at the back of the foot. I thought, well, you know, if that helps it go over a seam, surely it'll help keep the feet from pulling it down into the bobbin casing. And it just worked, because it was trying to do that, and I just put a pin under there. Just laid it up to the back of the needle. And guys, I had a boo-boo on my quilt. I'll tell you what it is, and I think I know what I did. I was supposed to have 16 squares, and I'm guessing I only cut 14. I think I cut 16, but I had to cut these little squares, and I think I might have used the fabric for that. Okay, so these are now done, so I need to trim them apart, cut them, press them, and then we will sew them to our next piece to make a unit to sew together to make a block. So let me trim and I'll be right back. So now we have those little ones done. And now what we need to do is sew them to our little rectangle here. And we will make 4 of these as well to make our block. And guys, we have been sewing about an hour and 20 minutes, about thereabouts anyway. I have been taking my time when it comes to pressing. On one of the blocks, it did have us pressing it open. That was the first block that we did. So I took my time to press that one open. Since it is a corner square, I know it was pressed open so there would not be a real thick bulk in that seam. And we're about to start assembling our rows and our block. Now we are only making one of this block, so I am going to go ahead and put this block together. Looks like I have. And this is going to be our center block of the whole, of the full block. This is going to be our center block. We'll first put the top and bottom row together. So have that and have that. I just have to make sure I'm putting it together correctly, because if I get it off just a little bit, it's a star in the center, my star will be off. This is called the Blossom unit, and it does not show which way to press. So now that I have them pressed, I'm nesting that seam. I pressed it to the same, it's kind of the same piece, just turned opposite directions. So what I did, I just pressed them both to the same piece. And I don't know, that don't make sense. But on one side you have it going up, you have the up part of the star, and then the other side you have one that goes straight. Well, on the alternating piece, you have one that goes side to side and then one that goes up to down. So I press to the one that goes up to down on both pieces. I'm sure that still didn't make any sense, but it is what it is. That is our center block. We will take our first piece here and our second piece. What I will do is the first 2 blocks of each row, and I am going to pin them at top and at bottom. And if I have a nested seam, I will nest that up. So this is my first row, first 2 pieces. Now my second row, now this has been a longer block. It has taken a little longer for this one. It took a little longer to cut the fabrics. It took, and I guess if I had cut all the fabric I needed, which I really thought I did, I think I think something might have happened there. I don't know what I did, but something happened. And I didn't have enough pieces for my greenish blocks. So I had to improvise and find some more fabric, actually, because I did not have enough of the white on white polka dots. Okay, and now is our third row, first two blocks. I have to make sure they're going in the right direction here. And guys, after I do this, I will just put that third one on, and I will bring y'all back to see a completed project or a completed block. Well, friends, we are now done. This took an hour and about 45 minutes to do this. So guys, this is the one that has taken the longest, but I did have to do more than normal on this. I didn't cut all my fabrics right, but I think this looks pretty close to the block. But that is my block. This will be a beautiful day block. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. Give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.